Hello, guys, and welcome to Death Talks. Now, Death Talks is a new channel that I am creating to make space for people to be able to tell their stories about death. They need a safe space to talk about it, to be able to process it. Plus, I believe in telling our stories, it helps other people feel safe enough to tell their own, which in turn heals everybody. So, the very first death talk that we're going to do is from a podcast called the Roller Coaster Podcast with Tyler Hall. And this story is about a young man who died at 12 years old. Now, I have not watched it yet, so I don't know what to expect. So, let's go.
When you guys were what, 3 or 4?
3, 4.
I got this. Hold on.
So I was born with a genetic condition called mucopolysaccharidosis meritolame syndrome, or MPS 6. Patients with that, our bodies are replacing materials. We have enzymes in our bodies that help that. So I was born without an enzyme that is essential for those breakdowns.
Taylor, what's the hardest thing in your mind about living with this condition?
You know, it's every day I wake up and I don't know what the obstacle will be that day. It changes every day for me. How am I going to feel? What's going to hurt? What's not going to hurt? What kind of mood will I be in? Something unexpected going to happen because of my condition. By the time I was 10, I had 19 surgeries. That's probably more than any child or human should have in their lifetime. We all have something. We all have challenges. Mine, I might know challenges more than most. I hate to say that, but I reflect, when I had that bone marrow transplant, doctors didn't know what quality or quantity of life would be like. Yeah. It was an experiment.
So I can already tell that this story is definitely going to be emotional. So trigger warning, if you're not strong enough in this moment to watch something that will be very emotional, then take care of yourself and come back for the next video, okay?
Taylor Willis, welcome to the Roller Coaster Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Here we are, baby. Scottsdale, AZ. For those who are listening and not watching, I'm sitting in front of one of my lifelong dearest friends, Taylor Willis. Taylor there's a lot of things that make Taylor unique. A lot of things. I think his character, I think his grit, the way he takes care of his body. But also, Taylor has a condition that we're going to talk about today. So Taylor is fun-sized. That is the best way to put it. That's my favorite way to put it, because that's how you put it.
That's how I do put it, yeah.
And so we're going to talk about just, I've known Taylor literally for 30 years, which is crazy to think, since we were kids.
Yeah, when I first met your family, I don't know if you were born yet, or just born.
Probably not. I mean, you must have been 2 or 3, right? When
I was trying to think about that the other day, because I still got that picture of your brother Jacob.
Yeah.
My best friend.
When you guys were what, 3 or 4?
3, 4, 5 at the park when your mom was taking those photos.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Wild. So Taylor and I go way, way, way back. And, Taylor, I would say, is not only one of my dearest friends, but also just somebody who's inspired me a lot. And he's pretty humble and sometimes bashful about people saying that. But dude, truly, you've been super inspirational for me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Taylor, what do you have? Describe for the audience your condition.
So I was born with a genetic condition called mucopolysaccharidosis meritolame syndrome, or MPS 6. Patients with that, our bodies are always replacing materials in our bodies and use materials in our body, and then it gets disposed of. And the help with that, we have enzymes in our bodies that help that. So I was born without an enzyme that is essential for those breakdowns. So patients like me, without that enzyme,
Wow. And it just really makes you think what a miracle it is to have a healthy baby. Just to be born healthy is a miracle. There's so many things that have to connect and work together in order for our bodies to grow and be created. And it's amazing how often it goes right. And it's really interesting when it doesn't, to kind of understand how a person is still able to have an amazing life and amazing experiences just in a different way.
uh, that that waste gets stored in the body cells, and it does damage to organs and tissues and everything else in your body.
How many people have this? Is there a short term for this, by the way, that's easier to say?
MPS 6.
MPS 6. Okay.
Yeah.
How many people have MPS 6?
It is estimated, last time I looked, 1 in 250,000 births will be affected.
Okay. So, like, nobody. I mean, this is like incredibly small numbers.
Of the family, of the MPS family, of all the conditions, there's a few in there. MPS 6 is the rarest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor, what's the hardest thing in your mind about living with this condition?
You know, it's every day I wake up and I don't know what the obstacle will be that day. It changes every day for me. Like, you probably have a routine you do.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what is going to happen that day. You know, how am I going to feel? What's going to hurt? What's not going to hurt? What kind of mood will I be in? You know, there's something unexpected going to happen because of my condition.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 second, guys. This is my first video doing it like this, so I just want to make sure that I have the camera angled right, so I'm not annoying you guys. I'm sorry. And if you see me looking away, it's because I am also doing some work. So I gotta get my work done while we create this video, okay? Bear with me. I love you guys for being here.
This might be harder than I thought. I want you to know, dude, I really respect you a lot as we keep going. Taylor, I want you to describe, when we were younger, you had to have a lot of surgeries. What was that like as a child, going through those surgeries?
As a child, you don't really think of it a lot.
Yeah.
You're just a child. You're doing what your parents are kind of telling you to do, or in my case, doctors. I didn't really have a choice. By the time I was 10, I had 19 surgeries.
Wow.
That's probably more than any child or human should have in their lifetime, in my opinion. But I spent more time in a hospital bed or hospital room than I would have liked to. It's just, it's something I had to do to try to get the best quality out of life I could with my condition.
Yeah. And what was the reason you had to have these surgeries?
For a better quality of life, to try to be as, I don't like using the word normal, but I guess normal as I could be.
Yeah.
With this condition.
Yeah. So are we talking, one of the ones that you've shared with me before was like I think think it had to do with like potentially lengthening your spine. And I'm not sure if you ended up doing this one or not, but I know it was like an option for you, right? It was like, hey, we can actually make you taller.
Yeah.
Right? Was this one that you ended up doing or not?
I did not do. So what you're talking about is referred to as limb lengthening.
Yeah.
And we looked at it, but the process is very intense and very painful.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, doing it, I can lengthen my legs and my arms, but not my spine. So I kind of look like Stretch Armstrong. I have long legs and arms, or longer legs and arms.
Yeah.
But what would it really look like? And just the pain of it, I don't think would have been worth what I might have got out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. With these surgeries, I mean, what was it? Every part of your body that was being operated on, or was it mostly certain areas of your body? And like, what do you remember about these?
A lot of them were just kind of test procedures. And I qualify surgery as tubes put in your ear, so your eardrum doesn't retract as much.
Yeah.
So I count that as a surgery I was under. I've had carpal tunnel surgery where they go in and cut tendons in my fingers and arms and hands, so I don't get locked fingers. Or that one was interesting because I did both at the same time. So I couldn't feed myself or anything for, I believe it was 6 weeks I was in the cast for.
Wow, I can't imagine having to have all those surgeries as a child. 19 surgeries by the time you're 10 years old? I mean, what kind of quality of life do you have? And then also about wanting to lengthen his arms and legs. I am so grateful that he did not do that, because I don't understand what the benefit would be, and I think he kind of feels the same way. Is it just to appear more quote unquote normal for society, to make society more comfortable, and then you have to experience all that pain? It's not worth it, not at all. If it had some sort of quality where his life would be better, like he could be more independent, he could live by himself, he won't need to use his chair as much or something like that, then that would make sense. Okay, go through the surgeries, get the lengthening, but just to appear more normal, oh, definitely not.
I had bilateral hip surgery. You probably remember that one.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you came over and played Nintendo's
played
with
a
me
lot of
many
video
times. And I was just laying in a hospital bed in the middle of my family room in a body cast.
Yeah.
Both hips done, can't move anywhere.
That was wild.
It was something, yeah.
That was a lot, man.
It was crazy. So it's been, luckily I haven't had like spine surgery or anything like that. I did, as you know, fractured my back a year ago, but no surgery, but it's just been all over the body.
Yeah. Ted, what's the life expectancy normally of somebody with MPS 6?
It varies on the severity of the patient. I had a bone marrow transplant, so that enzyme that I talked about is now in me, and it's been there since I had the bone marrow transplant back in 1989. But if you do not have a what do you want to call them? A bone marrow transplant, or they also have a bone marrow transplants are a little bit more rare to do today.
Yeah.
It's medical, as we go through the years, medical advances, and they now have something called enzyme replacement therapy. Yeah. So it's basically an infusion. Mm-hmm. So patients now get that, but younger, when it was first, when I was first diagnosed, it was adolescence, late teens. Yeah. So probably between 12 and 18, 12 and 24.
What was the life expectancy?
What was the life expectancy?
And how old are you now?
I'm 36.
Wow. And how do you feel now?
To what extent? Like with my condition?
Yeah, just generally. Like, do you feel good? I mean, I know you had this back issue, but like, do you feel like an old man like I do at 33? Like, do you feel old?
I joke that, I'm this fun size. I'm the size of an 8-year-old. I can go to a restaurant and still get crayons and kids menus, which is fine. I like the color. Joke's on them. But so I'm the size of an 8-year-old, or I'm fun size, but I got a bone structure of an 80-year-old. I broke my back. Not doing anything, just I have a kyphosis, which is a curve in my spine.
Yeah.
And just over time, it takes a toll on you, and it decided it would fracture in 2 places.
Yeah. Bone structure of an 80-year-old?
I feel like I do. I don't know what my bone density actually.
Wow. He didn't do anything. Excuse me, just living. And he broke his back in 2 places. See, watching stories like this help me, and they remind me that I have so much to be grateful for, and so much that I take for granted. And so I'm definitely going to be more aware of my ability to have a functioning spine. I mean, geez, I couldn't imagine.
Is, but
yeah.
I mean, I am stiffer. That's part of the part of the disease is your joints are stiffer.
Yeah.
So movement, I'm not flexible. I won't be joining a circus or anything for any great talent there, but
Taylor, what are common misconceptions that people who don't know you might think about you?
I think, and I might play it up a little bit more in my mind, but with my size, I don't know how people want to take me. Yeah. Being 36 and 4'4".
Yeah.
And I don't know how they really talking with me. I don't know how they would take my sense of humor, or because I joke a lot, as you know, a lot about my condition. So I don't think people really know what to do.
How to act.
Yeah.
Like, can I laugh at that joke?
Yeah.
Can I feed into it?
Yeah. Can I build upon that? Yeah.
I'll talk all kinds of shit back to you. And I think it's hilarious, right? Yeah. But it's because we have that relationship.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll talk crap all day, and yeah. I can put up with it,
And I love you, Tay. To talk to, maybe share, like, what's your daily maintenance like on your condition today? Like, what are some of the things on a daily basis that you have to be mindful of, or practices that you have to do to just maintain your health?
For me, just fitness overall.
Yeah.
Just staying mobile, being able to stay mobile. Flexibility is a big one, so I try to stretch every day, especially after my back injury.
Yeah.
That's huge. That just helped motivate me because I've been saying I want to get into yoga, and I have not done it yet, which is ridiculous because we have YouTube and I can do it right here at home. So there's no excuse. Thank you, Tay. I'm going to get my butt into yoga. Oh.
Still doing that.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's just trying to figure out how to navigate with this. There's no manual for it. There's no manual for life. There's no playbook for it.
Yeah.
most of my friends, people I know, have 9-to-5 jobs and can go to a workplace.
Yeah.
I have to not give up, but I have a 5-day, or I have a once a week 5-hour infusion I have to do. So a 9-to-5 job is kind of hard for me to get.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be doing a 5-hour infusion at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. You get done at 10, 11 at night, and I'm tired and sore afterwards sometimes.
Yeah.
And then to wake up for a work day the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, are there, other, let's call it normalities in people's lives that you just don't have the luxury of having because of your condition?
Driving is difficult for me. I do have a small area around my house I can drive, but I do have cloudy corneas because of my condition. So that's tough for me to do.
So it's mostly an eyesight thing. It's not a height thing, because
it's not a height thing. I have a truck.
Yeah.
I drive that, and it's just knowing your limits.
Yeah.
And I do that. I know my limits.
Yeah.
And so it's an eyesight thing. I have a truck that is modified for me.
Yeah.
But I stay pretty close to home when I drive.
Yeah. That truck, by the way, what year is that?
It's an 05.
This
with 35,000 miles on it, just about.
20 years old.
20 years old.
And you bought it new, right?
I got it brand new. I bought it up in Payson, and the guy I bought it from drove it down to me, and I received it with 140 miles on it.
Yeah. So brand new, 2005, and this thing is still perfect.
Oh, it runs like a tank.
Like
it's great.
It's pristine, but it looks like it's new.
It needs a little paint job right now.
Yeah, a little sun faded. Or an Arizona.
Sun faded. Arizona sun's not nice.
Yeah.
But no, it's great. You always love your first car, and if I could, I would probably be buried in that truck.
Yeah, that thing is.
At least drive me around town in the bed of it.
Oh man, Taylor, for people that know you well, right? Think of my brother Jake. Think of your parents. Other really close friends or family members. What's one word or a few words that they would use to describe you?
For the people that really know me, that small circle of friends I got that I can let in, I hear hero a lot. Hero.
Yeah.
They tell me that. I don't. Again, I'm just a guy. Probably drew the short straw of life. Just trying to navigate through it with what I was given. Don't know if I deserve that title, but I'm grateful for those that give me that title.
Yeah.
Strong. I don't back down from a challenge. I stick to whatever task I'm given.
Yeah.
I try to overcome any obstacle.
Yeah.
That's thrown my way.
I think that's right. There's I'm gonna find this post because I want to read it. That you wrote. It was probably a couple of months ago. But this post, if I can get through all these happy birthdays on your Facebook page, this post had a profound impact on me. Okay, and it's a little bit long, but I'd like to read it. It was your 34th anniversary post. Do you remember this one? It has this photo of you and Brittany.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Care if I read that?
Go for it.
Okay. Life doesn't come with a playbook or a manual. Sorry. Okay. This is actually exactly what happened when I tried to read it the first time. as I sat at home, and I couldn't even see it because I was like crying the whole time, man. All right. Come on, Tyler. Life doesn't come with a playbook or a manual. Sometimes I wish it did, especially having been born with the rare genetic disease, and then you spell it out.
Mucopolysaccharidosis.
MPS 6, yes, that one.
Yeah.
A condition in which has no cure, but there are treatments available to help slow down progression. Today is the 34th anniversary of what at the time was an experimental bone marrow transplant where little was known about what the outcome might be. It is difficult at times, and I can be hard to teach, but on this journey of life, I'm continuously learning and working on accepting what is, letting go of what ifs, and having faith in what is meant to be.
Wow.
That's beautiful, by the way. I write a...
Wow. That is beautiful and profound. I mean, what a... Wow. What a thing to say. That, yeah, just to accept what is and let go of the what ifs. That's amazing. I'm going to write that down.
Post every year to help remind myself of how much I have accomplished while facing the challenges that come with having this condition. My life is not what you would call the norm, and I know certain life events are not meant to be for me, and that is okay. I'm appreciative of the doctors and medical team who are working to find ways to help make living with this disease more manageable. Once a week, I go through enzyme replacement therapy that takes 5 hours, so I'd like to express my gratitude to my nurses. They give up their personal time and time away from their family to infuse me. I've seen the glares, I have heard the name calling, and yes, I'm different, but aren't we all? I'm grateful for a small circle of friends who I got this. Hold on. Whew. All right. I'm grateful for a small circle of friends who embrace my fun size and differences and allow me to vent to them when my load feels heavy. I'm blessed to have a loving and compassionate family who has also been there every step along the way. What was crossing that, sorry, man.
Sorry, I made you cry, or am I?
Jeez,
Maybe
dude.
I'm not. I don't know.
What is crossing that threshold of that many years? What does that feel like? Does it just feel like another year, or is it, are you proud every time you cross an anniversary?
Again, it's just one of those things. We all have something. We all have challenges. I might know challenges more than most. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
But I reflect, when I had that bone marrow transplant, doctors didn't know what quality or quantity of life would be like.
Yeah.
It was an experiment. They did tell my parents at the time. I was a year and a half old. So I didn't know what was going on. But they said we could do this, or we can wait 5 years and do gene editing, which would cure the problem, basically. That was in 1989. There's been no real improvement with gene editing yet.
Really?
So now, 1989, with my condition, a year and a half old, I was one of the youngest to receive a bone marrow transplant. So it's, I hate doing it, but I think we all do it. We compare ourselves to others. They have this, I want that. There's, are we ever happy?
Yeah.
And I do it more times than I can count.
Yeah.
I would like, to have a job that I substitute teach right now. It's love meeting new students, kids and stuff, developing relationships with them where they feel comfortable with me.
Yeah.
But you don't make a whole lot of money doing that. I don't have tear ducts, so I have to do eye drops all the time. And insurance doesn't cover that. I have to pay, out of pocket to do that. Luckily, I have a supportive family and that helps support me. But I would like to feel like I can contribute with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I try the best I can. It's just kind of where I'm at and there's limitations.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I admire the most about you, and you can feel this as we go through this interview right now, is just your attitude in general.
That's so true. And I'm sure that's why his life has way outnumbered, he has lived way longer than doctors predicted he would. They thought maybe 13 years he would live, and he's now 36 years old. And I'm sure that a lot of that is his attitude. It's his perspective, how he looks at life. And he's always in gratitude. He's always looking at what he does have instead of what he doesn't have. And that's a huge lesson for all humans. We all do it. Just like he said, we all compare. This person looks like this, so she's skinnier, she's prettier, her hair is better, her face is better, her skin is better. And there's always somebody better. There always is. There's always going to be. So, what's the point? Like, why are you comparing? What are you going to gain from that? So I love his perspective that just to be grateful with what you do have and accept it and let go of the what ifs.
A friend who has a brand that's called Attitude is Everything, right? And I agree. I think going through life, like you said, yeah, we all do have. Everybody has things that they struggle with, and you get to choose how you deal with that, right? I know there's a quote that's really powerful to you from Jim Abbott. Do you want to share that quote and just kind of talk about how you think about attitude going through life?
Yeah, Jim Abbott, who was a baseball player in the majors, was born with one arm and pitched. And he said that it's not the disability that defines you. It's what you do with it's how you respond to the challenges it presents you with.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing it. I didn't quote it right. But it is. I mean, you can sit there and look at your lives and say, woe is me. And I do it. I do it more than I probably should. But that's, I think, human nature.
Yeah.
But you get stuck in that mindset, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're going to be stuck. And don't get me wrong, you do it for a minute, pick yourself up, which I get it, it's harder to do, easier to say, but where are you going to go?
Yeah.
And when that mindset, when everything is just down.
It's we talked about this before, but it's Lou Holtz, I think, is the one that came up with the 10-90 rule, which is life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it.
Yeah.
Right.
As anything, it's like whatever challenge you have, okay, you have it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it. How do you want to react to it, though? You want to sit down and go in the fetal position? Or you want to pick your ass up and go ahead first, do it?
Yeah. So I know you are an avid sports fan. And I also know, and again, for those listening, not watching, Taylor's like jacked. And by the way, he's like off right now, meaning like this isn't his most jacked version, but he's still jacked. Like, one of the things that's so, I think, shocking about you when people meet you is like, oh yeah, dude, you are fun size, but you're also like shredded. So like, what is working out meant to you in your life? I know it's like almost, I know it means a lot. Like, why do it? What does it mean to you?
I started when I was about 10. Was doing physical therapy, and I needed to change. Physical therapy ended, but I still needed to keep going.
Yeah.
And my parents, well, my grandpa was one, big big into working out and fitness.
Yeah.
And he was one of the people I was close to the most. So, and my mom was working out with the trainer at the time. And so they went to the trainer and talked to him. And at that time, there's no kids working out at LA Fitness at the time.
Yeah.
It's changed now, but you couldn't see a kid on the weight room floor. So they talked to the trainer and he brought me on and trained me, and I'm working out with professional athletes. And with my size, I just had that drive. Well, he's bigger than me. He's taller than me. But I got more heart. I'm going to do everything I can to at least muscle-wise look like him.
Yeah.
If I got to do 5,000 sit-ups a day and 500 or 5,000 push-ups, I will do it. I've done it. It's just a mindset I got in at a young age that I'm going to push myself. It's the only body I got. I'm going to get everything out of it.
You've done 5,000 sit-ups in a day?
Mm-hmm.
How long would that take, bro? Like, that is so many.
It's a lot. It probably wasn't the healthiest choice I've made, but...
Dude, I remember I wonder if you remember this, but there was one time we used to go to Scouts, in our church growing up. It's called Mutual. So once a week, like, the young men get together, the young women get together. And, dude, I remember it vividly because we were at, I remember we were at this, green belt, and I think it might have been the green belt that was near 71st Street, near where the Hatches lived.
Okay.
I don't know why I remember that detail. It doesn't matter, but there was a challenge of who could do the most sit-ups in a minute.
Yeah.
And it was like me, you, Taryn, Austin, Tanner,
the crew.
Everybody else. And you remember me at that age, right? Think of me as 10, 11, 12. I was chubby, overweight, definitely wasn't into working out.
Yeah.
But then Taylor was shredded. And so I remember I did 20 or something, and I was dead. And Taylor ended up doing 100, over 100 in a minute. Because I remember one of them maybe it was Austin, did 60, and it was 1 per second. We were like, what? Yeah. That's the craziest thing ever. And then you did over 100, and then the clock stopped, and they're like, okay, cool, and you just kept going. You just kept doing sit-ups forever. And it was just
well, that's how I was even in elementary school. We would do the fitness test,
Yeah.
The pacer.
Yeah.
I was not good at the pacer, but you want to do push-ups and sit-ups with me? I'll take you.
I'll just go forever.
Yeah. I actually had to have my PE teacher tell me, you're done, stop.
Yeah.
But
just a physical specimen.
And, you got that scale of what's fit at that age.
Yeah.
It was 20 to 25. I'm in the 75 range at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm all right.
What percent body fat when you're in your good shape, what are you walking around at?
Well, I just did it not too long ago, and I was after the back was messed up, I wanted to see how chubby I got, or fluffy, whatever we want to call it. And I was at 6%. I was not happy with that.
What?
Not happy. I lost definition. I lost size. But that's how I am. And people that found out about it would just call me dumb. I would love to be that.
Yeah.
And you got people complaining about wanting to lose weight. I want to gain weight. I wanted to gain weight forever.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But so I'm at 6. I usually hang around between 4.5 to 5.
Yeah. I remember growing up though, you were in the 3s for a while.
I've been as low as 2, yeah.
Yeah. So shredded, dude.
Probably not the healthiest to be, but
can't be.
I look good, but was I healthy? Probably not.
Yeah. That's wild. So his off is 6%. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to our sponsors over at Bucked Up. I love this company. I love their products.
This story was really amazing. I really enjoyed everything that both of them had to say. I'm completely grateful. How funny, I paused this at 3333. Very interesting. But anyways, hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for spending some time with me. This is Death Talks. Until next time.